Welcome everybody here to what is now week 4 of LearnDOTA for the LearnDOTA Academy. Myself, Toby, every single week we will go through something new and a little bit different to help you learn the world of Dota 2. Of course, a lot of you might have actually got confused in last week's video where I was like, we're into week 3, but it's like, we kind of broke up week 2. Just to explain that one, week 2 was a streamer's guide, so it wasn't technically learning Dota, it was learning to show Dota. So we kind of skipped week 2. But we are here for week number 4, which means that we start off with answering your questions from week number 3. Luckily, once again, prepared as always with my little notepad, little thingy. That's right. Got to try and keep my brain in work, like in check. It's got to stay in a nice line going one way. All right, let's check it out. So one of the first videos I had was one of the first questions I had was from RipGuns22, and he asked, "Where do I find the videos?" Now, the videos he's referring to is obviously the videos from the Razer Academy, where you can easily just go to razerzone.com. If you want to go straight to the YouTube channel, you can do that as well. It's Cult of Razer. There's a YouTube channel. You can find everything up there, including all the latest Razer products. If you want to check that out, you can do so, and that's where all the VODs appear. You can check them out there, or you can go to the Razer Academy website itself, which you can find linked from the Razer Zone website. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Hope that answers your question as well, Rip Guns. One of our other questions came through, and this is actually a question which I think is related back to week number 2, where we discussed basically live streams and how you start off. And he asked one question: how do you get more viewers for a live stream which is only just fresh off the cuff? And I got to say, it's not easy, man. It's really not easy. Like, you can stream as much as you want to, but the reasons why people keep tuning into your stream, that's a question you have to answer yourself, man. If you set up a live stream and just because you're streaming, it means you'll appear on the network you're streaming on, to either own Twitch, whatever, and then you'll appear under that game heading. So you might get 1 or 2 people to go, "Oh, guy's streaming, I'll check it out." The best thing you can do is try and boost your numbers up, because you'll notice that when you start getting numbers around 100, then you'll have more people tuning into you, because they go, "Hang on, I might even watch this guy. I'm appearing on the LearnDOTA on live stream ticker or Stream Dota 2. I'm like, hey, sweet, I'm actually on here now, and this guy's got 100 viewers, so maybe he's worth checking out." It's the only way you can really do it. So you got to try and get yourself out there, give people a reason to tune into your live stream, and then maybe you'll be able to advance somewhere, and you get more and more people watching you. So that's the whole concept behind improving your live stream viewers. It takes time, it takes effort, it takes a lot of work. So don't get disheartened if you only have like 10 viewers out for about a month. Then you just go back to the drawing board and try and work out what you can offer them. All right, so we got ourselves a couple of questions now. Now, these questions come from a guy called Infinity and another guy called Wafu12. And because of you guys, so shout out to you guys, I am going to basically structure this entire LearnDOTA just for you guys. That's right. Just because of your questions, because I like those questions. They're actually really good questions. So the first one's going to be, and we're gonna go over this broadly. Now, support heroes, carry heroes, be it mid or late game, your role in that, be it tri-lane combos, be it being you a solo lane. Now, this, when you first try and look at it as a huge ass hole, is going to confuse the living crap out of you. But luckily, that is what I'm here for. So we're going to go bit by bit, role by role. So people from League of Legends, you guys, your roles are going to be a little bit different to what normally you'd see in Dota 2. Heroes of New Earth roles, they can kind of be the same because the map is kind of designed similar. League of Legends kind of has that difference where you can pick up the buffs. So you got the red buff, you got the blue buff, and if you got these buffs, they change the game around, and you structure your jungling patterns around this. Or if you have a jungler, for instance, some teams might not even use a jungler. They use the normal tri-lane jungle combo, or just a tri-lane itself. And these are the kind of things which just change it around. So let's actually start with it, and we're going to start with Wafu12's question: how do I play against a tri-lane? I'm a solo hero, and I'm playing against a tri-lane. So let's look at it not from the perspective of the tri-lane, but look at the perspective from you. What hero do you use? How do you get through this? Let's jump ourselves inside the game, because a lot of you guys want to see more of Dota 2. So just for you, I'm going to do that. So you're going up against a tri-lane. What am I supposed to do? Am I looking for farm? Am I looking for experience? What hero do I go? I've got so many heroes right now. What's the one do I choose? Do I try and go Broodmother? Do I go, I don't know, Windrunner is the most preferred one of late, and she's the one we're actually going to look at closely to start with. So, well, I'm going to grab out a little Ranger. So this is Windrunner. Now, Windrunner, the main reason why she is selected, I'm also just realizing we've got some nice fountain sounds in the background, which is probably just a little bit too loud. The main reason why Windrunner is chosen is because she has an escape mechanism and she has the ability to farm from range. Whenever you look at a hero to play on a side lane, you want to have the two things. One is the ability to escape. Moriah has a leap. Windrunner, she has a Windrunner ability, it's self-titled. Broodmother, he or she, also mother because it's a she, she can hide inside her webs. So it's impossible to try and bring her down unless you have sentry boards. And that means the other team is going to try and counter you, but it means you can stay in close and you'll get your XP. Even if you don't get your money, because you don't get the last hit, so you're going to get denied every single time you come out of your web, you break your invis. So what you try and look at is basically just sticking around getting XP, and then you get your money back later. That's the power of Broodmother that she gets from the Spiderlings. So you're always looking for some form of a trade. Actually, let's just go, let's see, gold. Yeah, I want that much. Sweet, awesome. I got cheats enabled on this, by the way, in case you're going, what the hell, how did he just do that? You can enable cheats and not let you do things. There's a reason why I'm doing this, and you'll find out a little bit later on. Only reason why I'm doing it now is because I just want to TP out to the base. Alright, so you can see your level, so let's just do this. So
time for target practice.
yeah, it is, because it's practice mode. Alright, so we're going to level up, and we'll grab ourselves 10 levels. Now, you're a Windrunner, you're coming down towards the bottom lane. What's the first thing I want? Now, I've actually just realized too, I've now gone to the wrong lane. Now, this lane is the safe lane. There's two different types of lanes in this. And the question which Wolf actually asked is for the opposite lane. But we'll, oh, hang on, let me just run away from the creep wave. All right. So you notice right now, creep wave is nice and close to your tower. You're going to feel pretty safe around here. So you don't really need an escape mechanism. Not unless you're going to get ganked from the side. And that's around here where you can't see. It's in what's called the fog of war. So you're going, well, okay. I look at this and go, I'm pretty safe down here. This is an easy way to run. But what happens if I'm forced to go out towards the top lane? This is pretty damn close towards their tower, and there is a lot of areas I can get ganked in from around the sides. So how do I deal with this? Let's just TP up here. By the way, the item I bought was BTs. It allows you to teleport to any unit on the map, which is friendly. Alright, so now you're up here. This is danger zone. This is what's called the long lane. So on the long lane, you're going a long way away from your town. This is your safe point. Your tier 1 tower is your safe point. Around here, very few heroes will dive back past that tower. But how do you get there? You have one ability, and this is Windrun.
I go.
So we've just leveled that up once. I don't want any more on that. And this is how much you'll have at the first level. So you're up here and you want to try and gain XP by being close to the creep wave as possible, but you've got to make sure you can get yourself away if you need to. So Windrun will be there. The duration is 2.75 seconds. Bonus movement speed, 50%. So pretty damn fast. And as you go up, bonus movement speed stays the same, but as you get more levels up, and we've already got BTs up as well. So in fact, I'm going to drop them for this exercise, because at this point you will not have boots. You will not have the extra movement speed that comes out from the boot. So this is your normal speed. And you can see, okay, we're on the creep wave. We want to stay close enough to get the XP. Can't really do so. So this is how long it's going to take you to run.
Of course.
And there you'd probably be safe-ish at that point, because then you're in range of the tower. Now that's a long time to run. That's a really, really long time to run. So how do you deal with that? You have the escape mechanism, and that's called Windrun. Because these guys are going to be coming in from the fog of war, and they've been wanting to gank you. But watch where you go. So you're sticking up around here. This is a long way up. You're close towards where the tower is, and that's generally where the opposition's going to hold their creep wave. So you go, how do I get out of here? I need to pop my Windrun. And this is how far you're going to run. Okay. So you go from here to here. And you've still got this distance to run. So level 1 Windrun is not... It's a good escape mechanism, but you've got to be careful when you use it. And the second you use it too, if you get stunned, if you get stopped, that Windrun doesn't just stop. It doesn't go with every single time you walk. It's one of these things where, well, okay, I've only got a certain amount of time to use this. I've got to be careful if I'm going to get stunned, if I'm going to get done. That's to be careful. But Here is where Windrunner comes into her own as a side lane hero, and this is the reason why she's picked up in a lot of competitions, and the reason why is this ability. It's called Power Shot. So what you can do is you set up the heroes on the creep wave on low life. So let me just show you an example. So that one's going to be attacked up a little more. So you can right click on these guys, click on these guys a little bit too, and then you line up your Power Shot. And you'll notice how far that hits. So the damage is dealt to around here. It's a long way to send damage, and that's where you get your money. So your CS, your little counter you have up here on the top corner, that will just keep counting over with every single last that you get, which means, technically, like your Windrun range is from here to here. But your farm range will then increase it from here to here. And that's where Windrunner gets her power. She's also got this wonderful thing called a shackle.
On my way.
And this is her other reason for being picked up, because you can shackle 2 units together. So you get them in line, and you'll notice they're being shackled up. And you can do that to heroes, you can do that to units and heroes, and you do that to heroes and trees, units and trees if you want to. So many options for that one. So that's the reason why Windrunner is used. Now, there's a couple of other options I want to run you through, and this is just one of these things that will take us some time to go through hero by hero. So let's go create a hero. And I want to get Broodmother.
On it.
Alright, so she'll already have her suggested items as well, which I don't know why. It's an Observer Ward and an Animal Courier. Alright, so welcome to Broodmother. Broodmother is our other option. Broodmother is generally picked when you've got a heavy pushing lineup, but you want to get farm up on her. If you go down to China, you'll find the Broodmother is generally run as on the short lane, not the long lane like we do here. Europe, they run them on the long lane because they look for something that can give some pressure on that side lane while getting the levels up. And Broodmother can be 2 levels behind everybody else on this tri-lane and behind farm in so much CS, and it won't matter to them. As long as you get a couple of levels up, you will slowly catch up because of these guys, the spiderlings. So you spawn them out of the units. You've got to make sure you actually kill the unit with a spiderling. That way they'll pop out of the chest. And by doing that, you can then send the spiderlings in, and they can farm up the jungle camps. And these guys will keep replicating. They get weaker as they replicate out more and more and more. So the original spiderlings are the strong little guys. As they replicate themselves, then they get weaker. So they do less damage, they have less life points. So that's something to keep in mind. But what makes Broodmother, let's give her a couple of levels. So we're going to level up, let's say 25 anyway. Oh wow, is that actually still doing it to Windrunner? Yeah, it is. Damn it to hell. I don't know if it's going to let me actually do it for Broodmother. I can't. Anyway, we can still show what we want to do. Alright, so spin web. This will allow you to create 2 webs on level 1. Now what makes this awesome is, see this tree area here? When you go on the long lane, the non-safe lane, you're going to get ganked from the fog of war. It's going to happen. Now you look at your vision right now, sitting inside the lane. That's your vision. This is nighttime, so your vision's a little bit more restricted. But what you want to do is, and you'll see some teams do this with Beastmaster, and we'll go up with him next. You can do this. So the web, you hang invis in here. This web will give you a small amount of regen, so 2 health regen. A lot of people will level these webs up before they even level up spiderlings because it gives you so much regen. Allows you to sit in the web, and like, you look at it there, we're getting 2.9 HP per second. We walk out of the web, we'll get revealed out, and we're down to 0.7, which is next to nada as far as our regeneration goes. So you go back inside your web, and it's just like, wait, 2.9, and that means you can keep on coming out. You might get right-clicked by the opposition, and you see it breaks the invis whenever you attack.
Oh, my prey.
But because of that, it's like, well, awesome. Like, I'm going to regen my life back anyway, and I go up to level 2, and then it's a health regen of 4. And you'll notice, too, this web has been upgraded to level 2. So if we want to take some more damage, but we can also plant down more webs, so you get a higher regeneration, and you can plant down more webs, and you just basically make a chain of webs. The easiest way, if you're in a tri-lane against this, is to have sentry wards, and sometimes as a Broodmother, you'll find yourself buying your own sentry wards, because it's going to cause you issues if everybody's just there, and they're just pushing you and ganking you. It's just like, well, what am I supposed to do? They can see me, and this is the biggest problem. So you have dust, sentry wards, or a gem. That is your enemy when you're a Broodmother. But in this case, most teams won't go for sentry wards early on. They might do it when you run this top lane, and the main reason for that is because most people will put an observer ward around here, and this will stop this creep camp from spawning. So if you throw one of these little suckers here, this creep camp will no longer spawn because you have the vision of it, and whenever you have vision of a camp, it means it's stopped from spawning, which means the enemy can't pull up here and pull this creep wave that's running past here down to here, and it takes the aggro for you. All right, so that's the Broodmother. So most important thing for Broodmother, if we want to go a quick recap, level up the webs. Feel free to actually come out of your web because you know you're going to regenerate because of your web. So just keep leveling that little sucker up and just try and stay close enough to get the XP. Best item you can get, Soul Ring as well. It's going to let you harass later on with the spiderlings because you got the regeneration from your web. So a Soul Ring, if you ever want to do it, just easily just type in Soul Ring. You can see it there, 800 gold, so insanely cheap. And you can buy most of this stuff from the side shop. But you'll notice the recipe, you've kind of got to buy that from back at base. So you've got these guys here, and I can't buy it because we're using cheese to create the hero. So if we actually had Windrunner up there, then maybe we could do that. Alright, so that is Broodmother. Beastmaster was the other one, which I kind of want to say. So we just create hero. Welcome to Beastmaster.
Yes.
So we get this guy a couple of levels up as well. Wonderful thing in the creep wave. Now you notice the trees have already been destroyed. So I can't really show you exactly. It's the same kind of thing. So we'll just pop up the axes. And you just hurl them at maximum range. Clears off the trees and you got a nice line of sight. Now this can be used if you're playing very early on as well. So if you want to go Beastmaster and you know you want to do him from the get-go, get him up here on the top lane, hurl out the axes, clear this line of trees, and then run back to base. You'll notice Beastmaster's mana pool is insanely low. 101. 101 is all that's left of 221. And it's 120 for every single set of axes you hurl. So if you've got one set of axes basically, and then you've got to hang around and wait for it. So farming from range, he can do that with his axes, but generally you're going to require a bottle or some form of regeneration to come up here for him on the top lane. The only reason why we're seeing Beastmaster kind of go up here on the top lane is when you're not really facing up against a full-on tri-lane. Sometimes it is okay to run him up on the top lane because he can just run a couple of clarity potions. For those who don't know what a clarity is, it's just a simple consumable item, costs you 50 gold, and will give you 100 mana. It does take 30 seconds to do it though, and if you get attacked during that 30 seconds, it will interrupt you. But you'll notice 2 clarities, and you basically got Beastmaster back up to full mana. So it's not a bad way of playing him. You can hurl out those axes. But then your question's going to be, am I going to get ganked at this point? And the answer could be yes, but that's the reason for this guy. So this is Beastmaster's second ability, the Call of the Wild, and this will throw you over onto the side here with just a hawk, but it gives you vision. The higher levels, when you get up to the Greater Hawk, you notice the Greater Hawk comes at level 3. So this is a Scout Hawk, so it doesn't go invisible, but if you get a Greater Hawk, it will actually go invisible. So you're noticing it's actually getting attacked now because it's a physical creature, and that gives money away, so be careful with that one as well. So we'll go up to level 2. I'd like to go up to level 3 right now, but that will require me restarting the game. Alright, so you get up to a level, well, what's going to be level 5 for you if you want to have level 3 and Call of the Wild. And that's going to give you your Hawk. So it can go invis forever, then you will have vision of anything you want to, and it allows you to avoid the gank. So his escape mechanism isn't actually an escape mechanism, it's a kind of like a prep. So you know what's coming, and then you can make sure you're in the right position for that one. So it's just one of those things. But let's go, create hero. I want Moriah. Alright, so welcome to Moriah. Now Moriah, she is very, very preferred, not actually at the moment to run as this kind of role. Used to maybe about a month ago, then yeah, Moriah would always be up in this role. But we'll talk about the role of Moriah and the way it's changed in a couple of minutes. What I want to talk about is what you do as Moriah when you're up here. Now, leap ability is something you'll generally go first level. Main reason for this is there's 2 points for this one. So the leap ability, if you're going up here, you're in trouble, and what do? Leap yourself away. Now you'll notice now there is a small little increase in movement speed, so 4%. So there's 2 parts of this escape mechanism. The first one is the leap, so that's going to change your position. So if you're getting ganked off, leap yourself away, get yourself out of trouble. Your second part of it is that bonus movement speed. So you get up to level 4, and you've got 16% bonus movement speed. So if you've got normal boots, you're looking pretty hunky-dory from that. Cooldown, mana cost also reduced as well, so it's not a bad ability to level up. As far as your build order goes, there's many people who will say different things about that. Do you level up Starfall? Do you level up Arrow? Do you want to go with that? Who knows? The question will always come down to you personally for what type of role you want to play and how much mana you think you might have, how often you're being ganked, how low should the cooldown be, who are you going up against. There's always these questions which will change your build order of items as well as skills. But we can look at her second ability now because I want to move on very, very quickly because I know I've kind of gone a little bit over time with this thing, to her second ability, and that's the arrow. Now, the arrow is one of these things which a lot of people will go, oh my god, it's such a great initiating thing, and we'll watch it right now. So we've got a creep wave going to move up here, and let's pop off the arrow. So the arrow is going to fly up, and that's a long stun time. So the longer the arrow flies, the more stun duration there is. So 5 seconds is the maximum stun. Minimum stun time is half a second. And then the damage will be the same, but it will increase as the levels go. So as in, it doesn't matter with the length of how far you fire the arrow. But you'll notice right now, we're going to pop off another one. What vision do I have?
You command it.
Now, I can't... stop there. I can't see anything down here. But if I pop the arrow, you get vision. So this kind of acts sort of like the hawk. So it gives you a certain amount of vision, might give you a little bit of initiation, but if you're ever feeling a little bit iffy about it, you can hurl off the arrow. And if that arrow hits, and that just comes down to experience of knowing where to fish with arrows. It's kind of like a pudge hook. There's a thing called a blind hook where you're just like, I'm not quite sure if I'm going to hit anything, and I'm pretty sure someone might be there. And you just hurl out that hook and you go, hey, sweet, I managed to latch something. I'm so totally boss. Same thing can happen with Moriah, except Moriah's one's a little bit different because if you're getting ganked up, throw out the arrow, hero's then stunned. And that's going to buy you at least half a second to get yourself back out of there. And that's also going to give you the intelligence to know, you know what, I shouldn't be in that lane. Let me leap myself away. I really, 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 really should not be in this lane. I need to move back and fall back to my tier 1 tower where it's safe. So this is just one of these heroes. These are 4 heroes and 4 different ways you can try and approach it. So one is a raw escape mechanism and Wells Farm from range. Moriah is up close and personal, and it's a double-edged escape mechanism as well as an ability to scout. Then you've got the Beastmaster, who is scout and farm from range as well with the axes. And then there's Broodmother, who's a lot more up close and personal, can be a lot more aggressive because of that regeneration she gets through her webs, as well as the harassment she can deal through the spiderlings. So you've got 4 different types of options. So if you're listening in right now and you're going, okay, well, for Wafu out there who's out there, it's like, I'm not quite sure how to go, try these 4 heroes, see how it works. If it does, congratulations. If not, try something different. There's a lot of heroes out there. The best way to keep up with who can run the side lane solos, who is the most effective, is to, 1, try it in the pump scene. What you see in the competitive scene might not always work for you. Like, competitive scene heroes don't always cross over to what happens in... let's go and turn that off for a moment because I got the waterfall sound in my ear. Yeah, so what works for competitive heroes in the side lanes doesn't always work in pub styles because there's different heroes, different levels of aggressiveness, and you can't really predict what's going to happen because in competitive scenes you kind of have a trend of what would actually happen, and players will get used to that. But if you throw in something random, and random is basically where the pub scene exists, then you can't always prepare for things, and there's kind of what goes arse over end when you get ganked up and it's like, well, 4 heroes on the top lane. Why are they even here doing this to me while they're letting my anti-mage farm on the bottom lane? It makes no sense, but it's going to happen to you. So don't just give up on the first time when you try one of these heroes. Just keep on trying and trying again. Now, what I want to talk to you about is the second one, and I got 2 more topics I really want to get through, and I'm definitely running out of time. I'm going to counter on myself by just saying, you cannot go past this point or else people are starting to get bored with you. All right, so support heroes. We're actually going to jump ourselves back inside the game again because I want to. I like the game, and we're going to recreate a new game because I want to look at a couple of support heroes. Now, the question was, what is the different types of support heroes? What are their different functions? How are they supposed to run? And this is actually very simply answered. Every support hero will have a different set of abilities that can be used in many different ways. Some of them can even be played as carries, and the one which most people would probably understand about that one is this guy right here. Or woman, I should say. She does have breasts, so she is a woman. This is Vengeful Spirit. Now, Vengeful Spirit was actually used by Na'vi, and there was some like playing around with Vengeful Spirit, using him as a carry, because when it comes down to it, if you look at the heroes, rawly, some are Algae, Intelligence, and Strength. They are, in fact, all they fit into those three categories no matter what. But what changes with it is the level of farm and the level of effectiveness that hero has. The reason why heroes end up coming into what's called a support role is because they don't really have that strength in the middle part of the game, so around the 20 to 40 minute mark, or the later part of the game, they don't really have that unstoppable strength which you look for a late game carry. Instead, they have more utility items. So this is what's generally classed as a utility hero. And you got Earthshaker, Venomancer, Vengeful Spirit. Lich comes into this one. Utility heroes can also be your junglers. I'm looking at Chen, Enchantress. Prophet is actually a utility hero, but he can multitask as a ganking and pushing hero as well. But even then, he's a utility because he creates meat shields that allows him to push. So this is where you kind of go, what support does what? And what you do with these support heroes, like you could be looking at Vengeful Spirit, and if you wanted to, you can go, well, I want to go carry. I want to go carry with this guy. Let me grab up a couple of slivers of agility. I want to deal more damage with every right click. I want to have more aggressiveness. I want to be able to complete at my treads. I want to get to Amanda style. I want to have that right-click power. My swap should be for initiation, not just for my team, but for me to get into position so I can be aggressive. You've seen Havorce do it, and he'll swap with his own teammates so he can get in range, so he can land his stun, and then start right-clicking down the target. And because of that, it kind of like changed the way you look at a Vengeful Spirit all the time. It's the same with a Tidehunter. Now, I kind of want to create this guy. So we're... Wow, really? Let's try that again. Let's try that again. There we go. Okay, so they gave it to me a little bit close this time. We'll also give ourselves a little bit of sound for this. So, welcome to Tidehunter. Now, these two guys are the first two ones I want to talk about. I love how the bot also automatically buys. Even though I can control him, the bot will automatically do this. All right, so now Tidehunter is another one of these weird exceptions to the rule of support hero. Tidehunter, most people will go, you know what, I just want him for his Ravage. Now, his Ravage is his level 6 ability. This will stun everything around him, basically demolishing it. The entire screen you see here will be stunned by the Ravage. Huge, huge team fight counter ability as well as setup for him. But what Tidehunter has been changed around to, and originally started as the counter towards a Broodmother. You throw Tidehunter up against Broodmother, and then Broodmother would try and come in close and harass, and he'd pop off this thing called Anchor Smash. Now, damage reduction of 40% is freaking huge as it is. It deals 75 damage, so that kills off the Spiderlings, as well as dealing a little bit of damage towards... What the hell is he just eating on his fish? So that deals damage as well to the Broodmother as well as the Spiderlings. Radius is actually pretty decent, 400, and the duration lasts 6 seconds. And that's on the damage reduction. And then you can just pop it off again. You've got a cooldown of 7 seconds. You can basically just keep on popping off the effect of the Anchor Smash on anybody who comes in close. And this can be any melee hero, be it Night Stalker, Bounty Hunter, Stealth Assassin, if he doesn't smoke you, all of these things. And then you can add on top of that, you've got the Kraken Shell. So a thick armor shell reduces physical damage and removes negative buffs when damage received reaches a critical threshold. And you can see the threshold there. So damage, the threshold is 600. So you can just like shake off abilities. It's kind of insane what the Kraken Shell is capable of doing. And because of that, he can stand on the front lines. And he's got so much life. Like you got 720 life, and then you got a Vengeful Spirit walking around on 450. So Tide can be aggressive. Wow, he really likes that fish. So Tide can be really aggressive, where Vengeful Spirit's going to be a little bit more cautious. So it takes more items to get her up. It's the reason why I'm more played as a support hero. And then we're going to take into another hero. Let's go Veno. So welcome to Venomancer. Yeah. Now, Venomancer is one of these guys who I love. Melk hates him. He's the one who got 0 for 20 with this guy. But he still did his role. He'll get items like a mech or a pipe or something to help out his teammates. And he'll harass. This is the role of the Venomancer. Originally, you want to go 1-1 on abilities. So you go first level on Venomous Gale. That allows you to be massively aggressive. The slowest 50% on level 1. So if you find a Windrunner, for those guys who were just like listening before for the tri-lane combo, Windrunner hates this guy. literally hates this guy. Would stab him in the back if had the opportunity because of that gale. You get the Windrunner bonus movement speed and the gale hits you and it's instantly, well, hang on, no. No, I don't. I'm now actually going slower than I was before. Then you add the poison sting on top of it and that adds 11% slow. And all you got to do, and there's a 7-second duration too. So your movement speed drops. So generally, if you're going up against a Windrunner, you want a 1-1. In fact, against any hero, if you are supporting a tri-lane or supporting any form of carry hero, generally it's done as a Venomancer on the bottom lane. So you'll come down here and you'll attack through the side tree. So there's generally 2 little paths in and there. So any hero who is caught in here will be forced back, and that gives your carry all of this space to farm. So from here all the way up to about here. And that's because of just one guy, harassment from a Venomancer. And then after you got 1-1, he goes into a different role, and that's to push. So you go Plague Wardens, and they get leveled up. And most teams will generally keep Venomancer as that supporting kind of guy. Let's have him on that lane no matter what happens, because if I do that, then, well, awesome. Like, he's going to support, he's going to make sure my carry gets farmed, but then he gets under-leveled. And support heroes, you never want to have your support heroes under-leveled. So most teams will generally trade at the middle lane heroes. The middle lane hero will generally be an aggressive kind of hero when you have a Venomancer, and Venomancer will go, okay, sweet, Quap is going for a run, or Tiny is going for a run, then I can just sit here in the middle lane, farm up a little bit, and get my experience, and that's what he wants. Because you get these wards up to level 4, and it is insanely hard to push. You can get a maximum of 7 wards in this, so the duration is 40 seconds, and the cooldown on it is 5. So you'll notice, yes, technically you can get 8 on the field, but the 8th one will die instantly. So it's the whole thing of timing for it. So Venomancer, great support, can play multiple roles. Lich, one of these heroes which we don't see anymore. And the main reason for this one is he doesn't fit into the metagame. So we'll create up Lich. And Lich is one of these guys that prides himself on sacrifice. So his third ability is this guy. So Sacrifice lets you just destroy a creep as it goes out. In fact, we're going to have a creep wave come up in 8 seconds' time. Like they spawn every 30 seconds, so that's easy enough. So when this creep wave spawns, what you want to do is, and this is at the very, very start, sacrifice a creep, it gives you mana. Now you notice there's only 3 creeps here. Normally, you'd have a normal creep wave of 4. And there you go. They're running out there, they're having a great old time. And because of that now, this dire wave will push faster. The experience is denied back at the get-go. Lich gets mana. And this creep wave will push on closer towards the tower. Now this is the double-edged sword of Lich. Lich denying, fantastic. And keep on doing it, removes a crap ton of XP. And you gotta go, you know what, that was really, really worth it, because whoever's on that lane is getting less XP. And the map position is completely screwed up. Normally there's a carry hero that's tanking up this or getting the farm from this because of the map control, the lane control. But the counter to this is everybody loves pushing strats. So what do you do when you see a Lich? Lich's power is to hold the creep wave back. So if I'm going up against a pushing strat, does Lich really work? The answer is no. That's the reason why Lich is kind of like overlooked. It's a huge teamfight hero. Like everybody knows the Chain Frost from probably about 3 months ago when Lich was always picked up because it was more about a team fight. So these support heroes, and this is probably my last point I want to make up because we're going to kind of wrap this up right now before everybody gets way too overdosed with information. So 4 heroes, 4 different eras, 4 different styles. We've got a counter team fight. We've got a hero based around team fight. We've got a hero who's basically about early game aggression as well as pushing. And we've got a great initiator, stunner, and also a multi-role kind of support hero. And this is kind of where Dota changes from a lot of other games, because these heroes, they can serve multiple roles. The Dota metagame is only restricted by your imagination, what you think you can do with these heroes. And because of this, where you go, hang on, I don't have to conform to normal Dota meta. I can do whatever I want to. Like even in the Defense Grand Final, we saw a Storm Spirit going as a jungler, which has only ever happened 3 times in history. And it wasn't even as a support Storm Spirit. That was kind of insane to use him as an initiator. But these kind of things, you can chop and change. So if I did even answer at Infinity, what is the different types of support heroes and the different roles? there's just too many to analyze in the space of 30 minutes. So because of this, you've got to try to go in there and think yourself, what can I do with this guy? Do I think of Axe as a support hero? Because he was. If you go back a month ago, that Battle Hunger was used as support. He had 1 level on Helix and 1 level on Call. So you can hold a hero in place. You have your spin on Helix, which means, and I don't think that's even, that wasn't even gotten until like level 8. It was all onto stats, so he could just pump out more Battle Hunger because it was the ticking down damage. And things like this. You just find different abilities. Darkseer and Conquer. Darkseer turns into a support hero instead of just that normal jungler kind of guy that just throws up his wall and has so much farm. He was there to support Conquer so he could vacuum into Torrent and then keep using the X marks the spot. It was very, very difficult to run away, and that was a strat that Evil Genius has tried. And all these things is, when you look at a support hero, how do you want to play him? And how does he work in with your lineup? Does he work with a tri-lane? Is he supposed to be that ganker? Is he supposed to be that stunner? Do you normally, when you have a tri-lane, you try and go with 3 stunners because that makes your tri-lane powerful? The tri-lane matchups are always a bit of a, like, how do you try and have that kind of combo going up against each other? And that's something which I kind of apologize for. I didn't really get into the other view of the tri-lane. It was just the tri-lane from the perspective of the solo person. So for the guys out there, hopefully, yeah, next week I'll try and go over that. But yeah, just try and think about what you want to do as a support hero. How do you want to support? Are you wards? Are you items? Are you supposed to be there for healing? Are you supposed to have mana boots? Are you supposed to have mech? Are you supposed to have pipe? Are you supposed to just buy wards and be that person that controls the map control? Because that's also fine as well. You get yourself a bracer if you get the money for it, and all you do is just buy wards. Get yourself boots, wards, magic wand. That's actually a raw support hero. You don't need much more than that. You just get those 3 items, and you basically got the epitome of what a support hero is, but that's more of a map control warding kind of support hero. So you try and work with that. So yeah, for you guys, if you want to try and do it, go out into the pub scene and try different things with support heroes. Try different builds. Try and work out what support heroes work with what lineups. Try and work with your friends as well. If you have 3 of you going out there, attempt your own tri-lanes. Couple 2 support heroes with 1 mid-game carry hero. Don't go late game, it's not going to work for you. If you want to do it, you want to have aggressiveness. So you look for how many stuns, what's your combo, how many hexes, how much stun time, and try and add it up as well. If you can add in a line impale, a vengeful spirit stun, and a Moriah arrow, how long does that hold a hero in place? Will that be long enough for you to deal off that damage to bring down the hero who you're going up against? And what type of hero would you be going up against? Would it be a Windrunner? Would you need the Venomancer then for your slow? So try and work these combos out. It's not the easiest thing to try and work out straight off the cuff, and in a pub it will be slightly random. But if you're doing it in scrims, just try and analyze what makes your tri-lane strong and was it strong against. Okay, guys, we're going to wrap up for today. Thanks very much for watching. This is LearnDOTA week number 4. There will be week number 5 coming up, but week number 6 will be delayed by 1 week. I am traveling to America. So yeah, I'll just warn you guys of that right now. If you're going to go, oh my God, I can't live another week without this, then you have some serious addiction problems. But I'm glad you do in the end. Yeah, so I'll be in America for 1 week in 2 weeks' time. I'm counting down the days, literally. So yes, I will be over there. Next week, though, we will be back. We'll discuss tri-lanes. And as always, leave your questions and what you want me to discuss in the comment section below. And also, like this video or whatever you're supposed to do on... I think, yeah, you're supposed to like this video on YouTube. I'm not much of a YouTube guy. Sorry, guys. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this stuff. Hopefully today was useful as well. And I look forward to seeing you next week.